Hey there. Welcome to the New You Life Pulse podcast, where members go to get a pulse on the heartbeat of our incredible community. New You Life is the hormone health company developing transformative products that challenge the way you age. The Pulse features rising stars, leaders in the field, and insights from our leaders at headquarters. Each Pulse podcast is designed to help you become the best version of yourself by keeping you dialed in, inspired, and motivated. Are you ready to be the best you? Now, let's listen to the pulse of New You Life.
Hey everyone, it's Becca Glover, your recognition coordinator. I am so excited to welcome Darren Burks and Marie Aspling. How are you guys?
Doing fantastic. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you, Becca.
Oh,
Great
I'm
to be here.
so happy to have you all here. Today, I'm so excited to talk to Darren and Marie about something that is not only near and dear to my heart, but I know with the two of y'all in your team, and that is inspiring team recognition. I just think you two do such an amazing job with your team, and not only just recognize your team, but inspiring them to do that and keep that going. So I'm so excited for us to chat today. Before we get started, I like to play a little game with all of my guests on the podcast. So we're going to do a little game of this or that. So you each both have to answer the questions. I'll give you one or the other, and you have to answer this or that. It's just kind of fun so we can get to know you. So I probably think I know the answer to this first one for both of you, but I might be surprised. So winter or summer?
Summer.
Both. I love change. We're in Florida, and in 2 days I'm jumping into the river, 23 degrees in Rhode Island.
Oh my gosh.
I always say I embrace all seasons, and
Okay.
I love them all.
I love that. I'm a summer girl. So I'm a summer girl. Okay, sweet or savory?
Sweet.
Savory.
Oh.
You'll be seeing this very shortly. Polar opposites.
I love that. No, I love that. I think that's so great. Okay, I also know the answer to this one. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Yeah, I knew that one. I know you bring your dog everywhere, and he's so cute. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, if you could have a superpower, would it be flying or mind reading?
Mind reading.
Mind reading.
Okay, cool. Flying, because I hate driving. I would just rather just be able to. Okay, next one. Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Mountains.
Mountains. Love that. Books or movies?
Books.
Movies.
Okay. Okay. Last two. Nuravi flavors. Palmberry or passion fruit?
Passion fruit.
Palmberry.
And then MLT. Raspberry lemonade or tropical punch?
Tropical
Raspberry.
punch.
You guys legitimately are opposite on all of it. I love it. It's great because then you get the best of both worlds.
Absolutely.
I love that.
And we have 2 of each supplement too,
Exactly. So you're
Double the volume.
always prepared, always ready. I've heard the last couple people I've talked to, they actually mix half raspberry lemonade and half tropical punch.
Oh, never thought of that.
I've never tried, so I'm gonna try it. That's gonna go on my list tomorrow in the morning.
Nice.
Cool. Well, we'll get started. So I'm just going to turn the time over to you guys. I would just love for you to just, take a few minutes and each of you share, your New You Life story, your experience in network marketing, how you got here and how you're at where you're at today.
Awesome. You want me to go first, babe, or ladies first?
Yeah, no, I would love for you to go first.
Okay. All right. So, and I'll preface this. I'm not good with numbers. So if I say dates, Marie will tell you they're usually like a little before, a little after. So for some reason, number accuracy, I'm not great at. But I've been in the industry for about 8 years.
Wow.
And when I first saw New You Life, it was back right after you guys had launched in very early 2018. Kate had actually showed it to me because I've known Kate for a very long time. And at the time I was already really deep into a different project.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I kept my eye on what was going on, and I saw what you guys were able to do. I saw the obstacles that were overcome, and I was always impressed. And then it came back across my plate when I met Paul Capozio, and I dug into it, and I said, you know what, this has a potential to be something absolutely extraordinary. And so I jumped on board, and I've had a lot of success in the industry of network marketing. I had become one of the top earners of 2 different companies.
Wow.
And so here it was a breath of fresh air with the differences, because I'm one of those that has a very love-hate relationship for this industry. Uh, and for quite a while there, it leaned more towards the hate side than the love side, even though it was unbelievably beneficial for me financially. There was a lot of things that I didn't like about the relationship between corporates and fields, and the games that were played, and the way things were portrayed, and the gotcha comp plans, and all kinds of different things. And I saw that not happening here. And I saw a completely different vehicle that people could take a hold. And I saw a whole corporate staff, from all the way from the box boy to the executive and founder and formulator, the ideology of taking this to a different place for the industry as a whole. And I fell in love, and it's been a whirlwind journey. I built a little unconventionally compared to what I've done in the past. This was the first time I had opened a country from the ground up. So I opened up South Korea, and so I focused majorly on one line running. And then I was in the aspect of prospecting. I'm going to go a little bit. I'm going to tell the true story of how Marie and I met. She might tell a different version, but
you'll hear mine soon.
In the
Okay, great. I can't wait.
In the process of me starting to put together my US base while I was working with Paul and we were working on Korea, I'm like, I need to get some scientific minds that I want to have, that don't know my marketing background, that don't know Alexi, that doesn't know anything about New You Life, to be able to give a fair analysis of this, to get them, have them come on. And so I came across this woman that was a very established biochemist. I saw she owned the most exclusive spa in Boston. It was the first all organic wellness spa and center in Boston. She was the first one of her kind that was going down the road of getting away from the traditional chemicals and the traditional toxic behavior in that spa space, and even the wellness space. A lot of wellness clinics are not really wellness. They're more about just appearance, not actual wellness. But I saw that. And I saw that she was not a fan of supplements she wanted natural things. So I'm like, who else to give an opinion on this? And that would not be one just biased for the money per se than her. So I set up a call with her. We started chatting. I sent her out some products, and we talked just via text message, really, and over the phone for 2.5 months. I really didn't have an idea of what she looked like until, because I quickly went over on Facebook, and I wasn't looking for any particular thing as far as visuals. So I just, over time of talking to her and hearing her accent and hearing her credentials, I'm like, this woman is a much older woman. And so, and then one day I put her on a Zoom call with our founder, Alexi Goldstein, and she turned her camera on, and I was like, she's hot. Like, and I screenshotted it and sent it to my friend, who many of you guys listening to this know, Dave Bonfilio, my best friend, my brother, who's also with us. And I'm like, she's hot. The woman I've been talking to is hot. And then sure enough, I said I was going to Mexico to meet with some of my Latin American connects, and she's like, can I come? And we ended up spending 10 days together, fell in love, and then building a business together. That's when I started building out the US. So she didn't believe that story until I found, about a year later, the text message with the screenshot and the circle that I made on the pictures and wrote hot. She didn't believe it until I showed her that. And I'm like, that really went down like that.
That's so awesome.
But that's my story of how we're here right now. And I kind of stole some of her story, but I wanted to tell the true version.
I love that. Marie.
Yes. It's a great story. I'll say that. And my life has changed so much, like complete 180. So my story, just before I met my man, and before I was introduced to New Life, is that I grew up in Sweden. I have a master's in biomedical science. I came to the States to pursue a PhD in stem cell research. So I was going down a path of conventional medicine.
Yeah.
In my heart, I was observing, the general population's health, and just came to the realization that I'm addressing health from the wrong perspective. Like, we are not fixing people's problems. We are getting sicker, and we're producing more drugs, and we are just have this accumulative disease or development of disease. And also for me, I'd been really sick as a kid. I just shared today my eczema story. I grew up covered, just bleeding and being sent in all these to the different specialists, right? To only use steroids and cortisone creams to just get sicker and sicker and sicker. Long story. So that's when I had my first kind of breakthrough where I was like, no, I need to go down a different path. I have to follow my heart. I have to follow what I believe in. And I think there's a lot of lack of education. I think that we are being pushed down a path that isn't best for the person. So I quit. I left my PhD. Wow. That was the first time that I was called absolutely crazy. My family was not a big fan of it. And, but I knew I had some things to do. So I went back to school, became a massage therapist, personal trainer, another 15 years was specializing in health and wellness by improving health and cellular health from within, right? Gut health, brain health, all these things. Then when Darren and I connected, I was super skeptical. I was like, hey, if you're trying to sell me something, I can just tell you right now, I'm very transparent, very straightforward person. And my integrity means everything. What I will say to you is where I'm going to speak to the world, right? And my actions are aligned with my words. So I said, I am the girl who lives in the woods, who make my own toothpaste. I jump into the river. I just live at a different level that most people consider crazy. I find mainstream to be crazy. I just don't understand why we're choosing to live in a way where we are getting sicker and dying earlier, right? So anyway, he says, after these months, and that is true, we hadn't seen each other, we hadn't met, and I was going through a personal transition with my foster son at the time. And I said, from a business perspective, I'm not interested, but I just had a good feeling about what his track record, what he was about to do and pursue. So I said, I'll give you my time from a biochemist perspective. I'll dissect the product. I'll do a little research. That's how I started this journey. Wow. So fast forward month, 2 months, and literally overcoming every single obstacle and every single objective that I had. I was then put on the call with Alexi Goldstein. And after that, I was like, I got to be in. Because when you realize that it's the only supplement that really combines all the endocrine glands, right? All the hormones to restore hormonal balance. That's when I got really curious, because I had been in my traditional business. I've been guiding thousands and thousands of people to improve their health. And I don't go to the symptom. I don't care if they have diabetes or cancer or high blood pressure. I go to the root cause. And 2 things are true: chronic inflammation, hormonal imbalances, men and women. So that was kind of an easy choice to actually go down that path and say, like, this is something I can bring in front of my patients and clients to further enhance their well-being. Yeah. That was step one. So I came in from a health perspective, and then with Darren in my ear, I always say, I did not know that it would become, obviously we fell in love. So it's a love story, and it's a unexpected benefit. I say the gel came with additional benefits for me. So I found the love of my life, and then we moved in within 4 weeks. We started, he had started Davici, I joined, but basically we were, co-founding and co-leading, and really, but I was new to the industry. I have not been in network marketing. So, and I had a lot of objections to the industry, because of how it has been done in the past and the history of it. And I did not want to challenge my brand, my reputation, and my integrity, so forth. So when I realized what made Darren different was how he wanted to go about the industry, how he wanted to attract people like me, and how we can actually change the industry. Similar to what he was saying, I changed the wellness by bringing posture into personal training, right? Something that people didn't talk about 15 years ago. I opened the first organic spa in New England to remove all the toxic chemicals that, you know, with skincare. So I was like, okay, here's another industry. And just a short story, as a traditional business owner, 2020 hit us hard.
I'm sure.
At that point, I had 2 locations, total of $31,000 in rent alone. Adding payroll, you're looking at 75, 80,000 a month. 3 months of shutdown, you do the math. I was in a tough spot. So that's when my entrepreneurial eyes looked at this opportunity from a pure, you know, business investment, right? Because I had promised my teams, like, I'll never go into the situation. So I looked at it as another tool, another vehicle to say, here's another chance for another income stream.
Absolutely.
So that's how it started. I had to learn everything from scratch. I'm learning from the best. But as you know, when you start a personal relationship and a professional, we've had to navigate that quite a bit. And but now we just came off a 3-day event, full immersion with Eric Worre, who's like the top of the industry, the leader and coach, right? And I just see like the impact we can have, and we're already having, and it's the only industry, more so than the traditional business where I've been, right? So now this is something that I love putting in front of people to, you know, educate on health. I felt the alignment with New Your Life, the values that Alexi Goldstein has for each one of the supplements is to restore function and optimize function of a biological system, right? And then the income and the flexibility, time freedom, and all that. So I have grown so much as a leader, as an entrepreneur, as a person, as a woman, and now getting to see our team grow. That's why I'm here. Yeah. I'm here to contribute my experiences, my skills, and learning with them, right?
Yeah.
And growing with them. So again, I just find it to be probably the most impactful industry in that sense, because the more I pour into my team, the better they do and the better I do. Beautiful thing.
I love that. Oh my gosh, you guys are so cute. You make me want to cry. I feel like we need to make a Hallmark movie out of this, because it's not only like obviously business savvy, but also personally savvy. I just think it's so great. Darren, you said something that really kind of hit me that I think is so underappreciated in this industry, and that's building your team with people who have strengths that you don't, or like people who have knowledge that's different than yours. You know, kind of your goal of looking for people who were not in this industry at all, or who had, you know, this type of, you know, medical or health or wellness knowledge. You know, Abraham Lincoln, I studied him in college, and one thing that he did as a president was he set his whole cabinet up with people who were completely different than him, that had views in him, who were, and he, you know, in one of his quotes, I'm completely like not quoting this right, but something along the lines of, you know, you need to fill your room basically with people who are smarter than you so you can learn from them. And I feel like that's such an amazing thing, and like the humility that comes with that as a leader, to say, I know that these are my strengths and these are areas that where I need to improve, so I want someone else to come in and help me with that. And Marie, same thing for you, where you're like, you're the queen of health and wellness, like you've got that knowledge, like, and so being able to say, hey, I need to learn in the business side and the network marketing side. I mean, I think that's what makes y'all such a powerhouse duo, because you're learning and constantly supporting each other and giving back and really just like helping each other grow. And I just think it's so wonderful. I just think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If I could just add on that, is that's how I can tell the difference between amateur and a professional in this industry. Is amateurs are just throwing out a net, and usually you see this along with Facebook posts like, hey, I just joined this thing, you need to join my team. If you want to join my team, DM me, or hey, just buy this product, and they just post things. When I come into a business, because I see this as a multi-billion-dollar business, right? I look to set it up as if I would look to set up any conventional business. I know that there's certain roles that need to be played. I know that the best organization is going to have managers, executive managers, the C-suite executives. They're going to have tech people. They're going to have people that specialize in the health and wellness side of it. They're going to have really strong salespeople. They're going to have to be people that are really strong with emotional intelligence to be able to build a community. So I go out and I build my list based off the criteria that any other traditional organization that is going to be scaled to thousands of employees, so to speak. We're not employees here, but it's the same concept. And so that's what I would encourage more people to do is we need those people that you wouldn't traditionally think were going to be in this industry, right? Like we can provide a hell of a business for a guy that's fantastic at tech. He might not be himself the one that is the on the stage speaker and the leader that you would think of. He certainly could know people and leverage that and be the facilitator, but you can offer him a vehicle for him to plug his contacts in, and in turn he can offer his skills of how to set up things. I mean, we run our own events, we run our own team, everything, and you need those pieces to play there. So I love that you had pointed that out, because that's how I envision building.
Well, I mean, I think that's why they call it network marketing, because you are building a whole network. And what better way than to learn from people who are different than you, and people who bring those different skills, because someone who has a health background, if, for example, like I've never experienced eczema, right? Like I've never had to experience that, but knowing Marie and being able to say, hey, I have this person coming in. Can you help me? Can you talk to this person and share your experience? Or, someone who's been in the industry for a long time, who's like, well, what makes this different? And if this is my first time, saying, hey, well, let me connect you with my friend Darren, and he's going to really kind of talk this through with you, right? Like you have that network that literally, truly, like you said, Marie, like when you're helping your team build, it's helping you, and it's kind of helping everyone as a whole. So I think it's wonderful. Yeah. You guys might have cracked the code, I think.
Well, I think one thing that sets us apart is, I think, like we saw with your little game, we're very different, Darren and I, right? We're very opposite in many ways. We are very aligned in the big picture, very aligned with what we believe in. We both have growth mindset. We want the best for other people. We want to help people get unstuck, to challenge the ideas of, what we've been told as we grow up, and breaking free and having empowered lifestyles, right? To say, how can I think differently? How can I establish a life that I build, not what I've been told to build, right? So the key word that I come back to, what I think we have been very successful with, is culture. To really, because that's a foundation. If you have a strong culture, you have a strong foundation. And from there, now you can grow. It may not be as fast, but it's very sustainable, because we have qualities. We have people that are aligned, that we share the values, we share the vision, we work together, and we support each other. It's authentic, it's genuine. We remove all the negative behaviors. We don't have a tolerance for that, because it's not going to lead to success. It's destructive, it's dysfunctional, right? And that's what you can see sometimes in this industry, right? If leaders aren't good at holding values and standards and protecting that culture and being good in communication, there's going to be cracks. Yep. And what I was very drawn to is what Darren was explaining, the fact that we don't blast products on social media, because now you eliminate a lot of people that don't want to do that, right? They may be very interested in the products and the opportunity, but they are like a lawyer, or they are a doctor, or they have another, like myself. I didn't necessarily want that, because now I have to change my entire branding. But now I pique interest. People see the success. They're like, what is that? So creating that curiosity, I feel, actually reaches a bigger audience. I just signed up a woman now. She's a former TV reporter in PR. And she said it. She's like, Marie, I've been approached by so many companies. And, they want me to be this person and this brand and this product. And she's like, I decline them all. You're the first one who's really got me excited. I love the way you do it. And she just signed up this morning. So it's just so, and that goes to show it may be different. And I know I have patience because I've changed two industries already. So it takes time for people to kind of
Totally
open the eyes for that and ears. But I'm super excited. I'm very proud of Darren for having taken the lead, and I can officially, publicly apologize for the tension I've caused by questioning everything he has said. And I can also say that
This is recorded, right? This is recorded.
Well, I'll send you the recording so the next time you can just whip it out and be like, remember what you said?
You know, and I'll say, like, everything I've challenged, I come to realize, like, yep, he's right. So I'm super excited, with the event here in Florida. What brings me to tears, what makes me feel fulfilled, is when I see Teresa on stage, when I see Bonnie speaking, Daniela speaking, where they never thought they would be even on a stage capable of speaking, and now have a belief in themselves to then take not just here with us, but in every aspect of their lives.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
It's so beautiful, and it's just so powerful. Even here, Ken Scholl and Stoney came to our house here in Florida, which was
I saw they were playing cornhole.
Oh, it was so much fun. And Ken Olsen also came, and I started cold plunge challenge, right? So 15 people lined up right outside my window here. And ever since, now that's another focus. People have overcome that, and now they feel like, I took my life to the next level. Now I'm doing that. And it actually just keeps building out. So it doesn't necessarily have to be all business. We just help people overcome limiting mindsets, grow healthy habits, and learn skills and tools so that they can apply that in life. And the result, right? We are a product of what we do. So we build a life. And so I'm very just so grateful for New Life. I think we came in at the perfect time. We've only gotten started, and I appreciate the time to speak here today. I love the community, and I'm just so grateful because my life has changed.
I love that. It's heartwarming for me, having been in different parts of the industry, being in network marketing, being outside of network marketing, in corporate sales and nonprofit. And it's really interesting. And I've said this multiple times, but every time I talk to someone, that's what I hear is it's the community and it's the family, and I feel that from on the corporate side, even like it's unlike any other company I've worked for. But you guys brought up something that I think is really interesting, because everyone builds differently, and what works for people works, right? I mean, you have to kind of find what works. And one thing that I think y'all do so well is that attraction marketing, that makes people, like exactly what you said, Marie, be like, what is that? I'm interested in that. You're building that curiosity, and it's not just so in your face, and you feel it's not that typical network marketing kind of ploy onto how to sell things. You're really, really, not only are you selling the experience and that, but you guys are like, you're putting out the culture, you're putting out your team. And it's actually perfect segue, which is really what I wanted to talk to you guys about, is how you inspire your team and recognize them. Because that's something that every time I jump on Facebook, I mean, y'all are blowing your people up. And not just that, it's not just coming from you two as leaders. I see your people on your team shouting each other out, supporting each other. So I'd love to hear from you guys, like, how have you done that? How have you built that culture in your team to not only, I mean, obviously you guys are doing it as leaders, but how do you inspire that for your teammates and your, leaders on your team to also do that for each other and for their teams that they're building?
Well, I will say, as a segue into that, to kind of touch on both parts of what you just said, is people don't say no to extra money. They say no to what they have to do if they said yes.
Yep.
And that's a profound, simple idea, that the second you open your mouth, once you start doing this business, whether it's on a Facebook message or a Facebook post, whatever you're saying or doing, the person you're talking to is now thinking, if I do say yes to them, I am going to have to do exactly what they're doing.
Totally.
And so if you want to get those lawyers, those doctors, those biochemists, those higher level people to do business with you, you have to operate in a way that they'd be open to. And just honestly, most people don't want to turn into a influencer, right? Most people don't want to turn into a product salesperson. However, if you do things in such a way, like this TV reporter would said, hey, listen, I would be willing to have one-on-one conversations like this. Now you open the door. Now they get really excited, and you actually end up, the end goal is to get this product line in front of as many people as possible. And you actually end up doing that more by focusing on that a little less up front. And you end up getting the product in more people's hands.
You're focusing more on the person rather than the product.
Exactly. 100%. But so that segues into the culture that we create and why recognition. Now, obviously, Marie's done a fantastic job of building a culture in her traditional business. And I've had a lot of experience. I mean, one of the largest teams that I had part of helping build was 200,000 people in over 50 countries. So I've seen a lot of different cultures. I've seen a lot of different areas of the country, different countries built together. And one of the main tenets, and there's certain tenets and laws in leadership and culture and growing communities of people, and recognition is one of them.
Yeah.
And that also brings in the law of reciprocity, right? So why are people now duplicating that recognition is it's the law of reciprocity. You feel that, oh, I got recognized, that felt good, now I want to give that back and share that. We also run a very in-depth social media program where I have developed it's more of a baseline of how to do social media. So every day they get to go, and there's groups, so nobody's doing the same thing on the same day, and they go and they find that, okay, I'm group one, say Becca's group one, you go find group one today, the 5th is mentor. And then they'll go and find a PDF we have attached to it, and it says, and explains how to shout out your mentor. Pick a mentor. Wow. It can be inside the business, outside the business. This is an example of what it looks like. This is how you can post about someone outside the business or one of your mentors in here. And then one of the topics is partners. Shout out one of your partners. One of the subjects is shout out a friend that has nothing to do with your business. So periodically they get this assignment where they shout out their friend. Again, bringing in the law of reciprocity. Another one is spotlighting a business. So I want them to spotlight a business quite regularly, a small business. So, hey, Tina's Nails, you got to check them out down on Elm Street, out of the blue. Yeah. And so now the owner of Tina's Nails is like, huh. And you just have, again, elicit that law of reciprocity, but you're building a brand of not being a product pusher. You're building a brand of someone that is uplifting people inside and outside of your business. One of the worst things I see when it comes to recognition is it only happening in the business. And that from the outside, a spectator, it looks awful because you see it, and you probably have friends that are in other companies and you see them, and everyone in their comments is only people from their company. And they're all commenting the same thing and posting the same thing. And that's where this cult mindset comes from about the industry. But when you have someone like a Teresa Coughlin or a Bonnie Shays or a Dave Bonfilio who are shouting out businesses, shouting out small friends of theirs, shouting out internal, external mentors, people that they're learning from here, people that they're learning from on podcasts. There is no clear, like, people go, what are you doing? What do you do? And they ask, and when they ask, it's a much better feed. But and then also inside the organization, we have recognition where we recognize first customers. We recognize, I do my own internal mid-month. So I go back 30 days, and whoever's brought in the most revenue, and I calculate what their own auto ship is, how many customers they have, how many new partners they might have brought on. And then I have a leaderboard, and people get excited. Curtis Perry is one of them that loves, he messaged me, where's that leaderboard? If I'm a day
he's ready. He's ready for it.
He's ready for it because it encourage those that are competitive. And competition is good. Competitiveness is good.
100%.
It's good for team growth. It's good for culture. So we have a lot of different systems.
Because you're also celebrating each other. You know, you're competing with each other, but if you see someone else on that leaderboard, you are literally inspiring them to also go and shout that person out and be like, hey, I saw you on the leaderboard. Like, congrats, man.
Absolutely.
Like, that's amazing.
Absolutely.
I think it's exactly what you were saying. When you compete against you, right? It's an internal competition. But one thing in society that I think we need to change is the idea of, like, for me to get to the top, I have to push you down.
Yeah.
And in fact, the opposite is true, right? If I lift Teresa, if I lift Daniela, if I get the people to go higher, I'm going to be motivated to go higher too. And indirectly, we're sending the message of, if I can, so can you.
Mm-hmm.
And you go much further together.
Totally.
You can run really fast alone, but
Mm-hmm.
you go so much further together.
Yeah.
And having that, I'm lifting you, you're lifting me, I'm lifting you, you're lifting me, that's the culture. Another thing I put down, it boils down to, I love what you said, we believe in the person, not the product. Even though we believe in the product, right? But we focus on the person.
Yeah.
And to me, it's character.
Mm-hmm.
What is my character? Who do I want to become? So that when I look back on my life, I want to be proud.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have traits that treat others well. I want to have traits that support me to be the best version of myself.
Absolutely.
So we are very focused on celebrating and rewarding those traits that support more than just that person, right?
Mhm.
It's not me, it's we.
Totally.
So really thinking of, who do I want to be? And it feels good. Like Darren was saying, when you shout someone out, that person, as a child, it's biological human need to be recognized, to be seen, heard, and valued.
Yep.
A lot of us have abandonment issues, right? Like, we haven't had parents that have paid attention to us. We're never good enough, and the society tells us to be something that we wouldn't want to do. I mean, it's human psychology and behavior. So that's another reason why we do what we do, is that it goes beyond the business even. It goes to say, who do you want to be? What are the qualities you want to possess to contribute to the world?
Yeah.
And it's like law of attraction. What you send out, what you give, you're going to receive. And that is the purest form of leadership, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
When the objective or the intention is, I'm going to be the best person I can be and help another person overcome whatever they are struggling with and building their character. And what I find so empowering with that, it's unlimited.
Yeah.
Even though I used to be a person that did XYZ, I'm a former, I'm an addict, or I'm I'm broke, I'm homeless, I'm sick, all these, identities that we attach to, when we realize that I can change that today
100%.
by simply choosing the people I surround myself with and what I do. And that's the power of community. We become who we surround ourselves with. So as a leader, it is my responsibility, it's Darren's responsibility to foster healthy character traits for the person to grow into their fullest potential. And I find that to be such a beautiful journey, because you never know where they're going to go, because it's already within them, right? You just kind of like help to get them unstuck, and then you feed off each other and you reach heights that you never could have dreamt of.
Well, and it kind of goes back to what you said very early on when you met with Alexi, when you first chatted with him, and kind of what you saw from him and saw his goals and his belief in, when you talk to Alexi, it's so much more than just, I'm here to build a business and sell some products. Like, he at his core wants to make this world a better place. He wants people to have a happier, healthier lifestyle day in and day out. Like, he's also not looking to just make a quick buck or get all of these people just because. And that's something, he was here last week, and that was something that him and I, every time he's here, we talk about recognition and what more can we do for our field. And his whole thing is he wants people to really believe in not just what in our products, but in what New You Life is and how New You Life can truly change someone's life. And I think you guys are emulating that by the people that you're finding, is because it literally comes from the top down, because that's what Alexi's doing. And so he's finding, people on our corporate team who are really, we want to make sure that, we're following the same path and making sure that everyone's like truly taken care of, and that we've got a strong belief in moving the company forward, so that when I come in every day to do my job, it's solely to support you guys and make sure that you're growing, and that, all of that. And I think that it's just amazing to see how it comes like truly from the top down, and you guys really taking that and instilling it into your teams.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never seen a happier corporate staff ever. Like
We are pretty happy.
I've never seen it.
We're
From customer service all the way across the board. I've never seen it.
We've got a good crew over here, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we're almost out of time. I appreciate you guys so much for sharing your thoughts. Really quick before I let y'all go, we've got our Jamaica Dream It trip coming up. I was so sad I didn't get to meet Marie there, but Darren and I bonded over our baby blankies. And it was a great moment. And that's truly how mine and Darren's friendship started, was on the catamaran talking about our baby blankies. But I would just love to hear from you guys. What are you doing with your teams? What are you doing for your own business to make sure that you're there, that you're on that trip? And what advice do you have for someone who really wants to earn that trip? And how do you get there?
I think for me, and this might be a different approach than most, promotions are just extra. Promotions are just extra. I encourage my people to do the same fundamental daily method of operations every day. And they just, when promotional periods happen to come out, like a Costa Rica trip or any type of double points or anything like that, then it's just bonus. But it's implementing those daily habits that so there's nothing different we do. It's more just where obviously there's
extra credit.
There's extra things going on, but if you do the right things every day, then you'll already be in position to be successful when the trip comes up, right? And I'm excited because the trip just recently got started, right? That promotional period just recently got started. So the people that are really going to rack up the points are going to be, some of them are just joining the business today. Some of them haven't even came in the business yet, because these promotions, these trips, they're really designed for the people on the front line, because they're the ones that, when you have a team, now I'm excited to have my team go. It's I end up going to the events because I'm still doing the right behaviors, but like, I'm not focused on being on that trip. I'm focused on trying to see how many of my people I can get on that trip. Does that make sense? Like it's so, but daily method of operation, making sure that we're doing the same things day in and day out, no matter what day of the year. We don't take December's off. If anything, December is what's getting us excited, because I know other people are taking time off. So that's our days to get ahead.
I mean, showing up every day is what it takes.
Yeah. Yep. I think it's a short versus long-term thinking. And I think that's what we're trying to address in our team too, that incentive trips are great, right? And for some people, they will serve as that push and extra inspiration, especially the competitive ones. We've also seen those that do that and then they die right after. They kind of push, and then dead, right? And they stop. So we want to balance that and say, how can we create same as health? If I want someone to become healthier, I don't set the goals too high, too fast, because they're going to feel like a failure. And now it's a short-lived success. Instead of saying, how can we get this person to do a little better every day? And then accumulate that and keep growing and never feel deflated, never feel, that they now have lost that momentum. But I think they're great. And trips also, I was so sad to miss Costa Rica. I did go to Hawaii. It's also for the community to come together in a new destination, to bond, to nurture relationships. It's not just about the ranks and the volumes and that. It's really, when I saw what New Life did for that school, like, that's beautiful, giving back, very bonding. it's a way to say thank you. And we
Yep.
just listened to Eric Worre. That's one of the things to show gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
Really express gratitude for your team. So our gift is to try to get our team there, because we know the relationships they will build,
Yeah.
and also the community, the strength, the belief. And that's what we do with events. We build from event to event, because when you immerse yourself, when you come together, there's something that builds within you, and now you stay consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to be consistent.
And you're surrounding yourself with like-minded people, like you said.
And the trips is once a year, but how do you bridge those two trips? How do you keep someone motivated, consistent, persistent from those two incentive trips? Because if we have someone get into one trip, we better find strategies
to get them on the next.
Keep them going,
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
So we're really trying to instill, again, character and
love that.
habits for long-term success. And it's not going to go like this, but often when it goes like that, it also goes very fast down.
Yeah. I love that. I think that's a great way to look at it, because shooting for something, of course, like love those end goals, but working every single day, right? Like it's like when you go to the gym, you're not going to see, you're not going to lose that weight, or you're not going to get that 6-pack after one day in the gym, right? You have to consistently go and go and go. And it's that mindset of, even on the days you don't want to show up, you show up every day. And then when you look back in 6 months, you're like, holy crap, not only have I done this, this, and this, and gotten this many people in, and this type of commission, and, I'm feeling better, and I'm, healthier. Now I'm on a trip, all expenses paid, right? Like it all really, really stacks up. So I think that's great advice, is just that consistency and really building that. Well, thank you guys so much. It has been such a pleasure chatting with you guys. I just think the world of y'all. I think you're so wonderful.
We love you.
Oh,
I'm going to do it. I think my camera can do this. Watch.
I'm gonna do my South Korean version. This is what they do.
Yes.
No, Zoom does that. When I do this, all comes hearts through my hands somehow, and my Zooms, but not this.
Wait, that's cool.
It's like when I do thumbs up, a thumbs up pops up. So all these emojis are flying around when I do my.
That's some nifty technology.
AI is getting weird.
How it happens. Becca, and your life. Thank you. Thank you for believing in us. Thank you for having us. We're honored to be here, and we hope that we're just going to bring so much growth to all of us, and also enjoying the process, and appreciate you very much.
Well, I appreciate you both, and I can't wait to see what you guys do. I'm excited, and we will chat soon. If I don't see you before then, I'll see you in Jamaica.
Absolutely.
See you in Jamaica.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you both so much. Have a great holiday season, and I just appreciate y'all.
You as well. Love you guys.
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode of the New You Life Pulse podcast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. Also, for more information, please visit our website, newyoulife.com. Thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode of the New You Life Pulse podcast.